Hello, friends of Komodo platform, friends of crypto price charts. Hello, pirates. I'm me, Giuliano. It's the 29th of October, and I'm here with some crypto price charts. Let's go into crypto land. Yeah, we are going to share the screen, and I hope you're doing well wherever you're coming in from. So Bitcoin is at $62,000. That's right. So we did bounce. If you remember that previous video, you can check it out if you didn't. We bounced up from the 58.5 level here. In fact, wow, it did actually get that scam wick down to the 56. So it would have been the one-to-one, wick to wick, if you remember what I'm talking about. If not, it's the extension here from top to bottom. So it did pull out about a one-to-one. If we want to be, super picky about it, then I don't know the exact number, but it's roughly one. Like it, it's pretty good. Anyway, there you go. And now bounced up and actually back over the 20-day moving average. So it looks like we're getting more BTC strength, which means for the altcoins against BTC, maybe they are going to straggle a little bit more. Continued, as we'll see though. We still need to get above this level here, and we can look on the 4-hour just to see it, but it's right here around the 63,000 level in order to be more secure. Until then, we're just making lower lows, right? Okay, or sorry, lower highs, that's what I meant. Until then, we're making lower highs, which in this, whoops, I'm gonna do that, which in this case here, wow, look at that candle and wick. This is a 4-hour price chart. Yeah, right here, actually, we are above the Ichimoku cloud again, so that's good. But we're tipping the top of the Bollinger Band here, so I don't know, whatever, we'll see. This is a 4-hour price chart. We could stand to make this a lower high and continue down again and make it back into the low 60Ks here. Well, we're already in the low 60S at 62.5, but even lower, 61. And yeah, whatever will hurt people and their plans. That's kind of what the market is all about right now. So either way, looking good on the BTC, and that's about it. Don't really have much to say. Oops, get out of there. Yeah, much to say other than we need to really hold above this level here, 63.6. But the safest obviously is the 64 level. Okay, done. So if we want to check though, so like we said, we got the KMD over here struggling in the 1600s. In fact, it's just playing in this between these two bands here, making lower closing lows on a daily price chart than here, but it's all a wash kind of. It's just bottoming here. It's really going to be interesting to see how does this chart react when, if or when, or what Bitcoin's going to do. So Bollinger Band starting to narrow. We're rejecting at the 20-day moving average. Don't go above, then we're going to just keep dumping below. That's just what it seems like. Okay. Otherwise, the other, still though, I mean, we are at critical levels, but the bias is for this to turn. However, depending on what Bitcoin does, right? That's definitely been a sore point for the KMD price chart if you're looking for a number to go up. If you're looking for a long-term entry, I mean, if there ever were long-term entries, these are them. And yeah, other than that, that's KMD on the daily. I don't really have much else to say other than it has been rebounding as as it will do. So I think that KMD price chart will be all right. I don't think it's going to break down below this, other than though, here's the thing. Maybe it does in the sense that if like Bitcoin's rocketing and KMD's not ready to, then that's what's going to happen. But still biases to the upside for now until we really start breaking below. Yeah, and this is only the uptrending channeling lows. So we're still at this level up here, roughly, of price. So we have a bit of ways to go before this low. We'll see. Oops. I'm not so concerned on this chart, to be honest. And to be honest, it's just a saying. It's a phrase. Okay, there, it's KMD. Pirate chain here. Same thing, you know. But I'm on a 4-hour, and on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, firstly, this wall of Ichimoku cloud. And let's get rid of this for 1 second. This wall of Ichimoku cloud here coming up. All right, and interestingly, now the top of the Ichimoku cloud band is at the lower end of our box. So let's see what happens here. It'll probably start flattening out a little bit based on this price action here. So now the issue is, if we just keep going straight, we're gonna hit the wall. So either it needs to go down or it starts fighting with the cloud. That's where we are, but it's a 4-hour time frame. On the daily, the cloud is not even close. Cloud's up at the 4,300 Satoshis level. So we are way down from that on a daily. Really took a dunk, and we're fighting at these price levels here, but we're below it. It's not our friend. Going back into that 4-hour though, we're seeing like bottoming action here. On this side here. And then on this side here. So if we can hold on to it here, then it does fight with the cloud. And I think there's a chance for that. The other problem though is that the next move is to continue going lower towards the that 2,200, 2,300 Satoshis level that's previously mentioned. And right now, this is kind of the activity. So let's see what happens here. Nothing, again, none of this financial advice, but looks like we could turn it up. Let's see. This, if not now, then I'm not saying never, but then not now, and it's gonna keep going down. Okay, bias is this direction here, sideways up out of this channel. However, let's just take a look. Yeah, that would be good if we could get out of it in this time frame over here. That would be perfect. That's good. That would be very helpful. Otherwise, unfortunately, yeah, we're down to the 2,800 Satoshis level down here. All right. And that's just the start of that move. And then we really invalidate all of the idea of these levels being accumulation as much as now and then the idea becomes more of this is just a redistribution phase over here after coming down from previous markdown, redistribution, more of a markdown. All right. So that's where that stands. Danger territory here, but it is also the type of shape where this could be a bounce and then a move into more neutral territory and back into 3,000 Satoshis levels and try and fight up into this rectangle here. Okay, so that's Pirate Chain for our price chart daily, and just big falling knife. Big falling knife. Just going to see here. But the only hope here at this point is a continued rounding, right? That's what we need. So keep an eye on that. Also, if we want to do just a bit of time analysis, we can go like this. Down, down. Down. So we're at 21. So nothing obvious yet. If, yeah, so like, who knows? Nothing obvious yet in that sense. The other option is, yeah, we're about 2 to 1 now, roughly, with the down move here and this down move here after this in between out move. So take with it what you will. Just looking for some hints or clues of symmetry and coherence between the different structures and their movements. All right. I would like now to, so that's going to be the price chart of the RBTC. I'd like to go over to a couple of charts on this side. Well, we had this Shiba, so we're going to take a look at that just to show that we broke out of we did end up breaking out of the channel and holding it. This is a 4-hour time frame just to show that it did actually end up holding it eventually and continuing higher. And it reached about the 1618 extension, and that is an extension of this low here to this high, and extended from where is it, about here where it starts this next move up. So yeah, it's roughly 1618, and great place for dumping on people who just heard about it on TV. So there you go. That's that Shiba coin there, Shiba Inu action. So that's that. We'll see where are some levels of retracement here. If we take just this move here, well, it's flirting with that 50%, but yeah, you know, I don't see it not coming down at least 78.6 or 88.6 if this is the top of that move. But I'm not going to do much analysis on this at this point. I think the one that I want to do more analysis on and check a look at is with the DERO, and then also specifically with Origin Trail TRAC. So let's go DERO BTC just for fun, because we've been watching it a bit more closely, and on the daily price chart, I just want to recognize we had started moving back up quite strongly, but we resisted here, could not break the 20-day moving average. Now we're going back down again. So that's a danger move in that sense. If we want to start taking this as a move down, move up, and a further move down coming, we can roughly play it to about here as a 1-to-1 at around the 20,000, which is about these lows here. So you can look at that as a potential move incoming at some point. Okay, I don't know how hard or fast it'll be. The other option is around these like 12 to 14,000 Satoshis levels here, where you get this type of 1618 extension if it's really going to be nasty. Yeah. Oops. So that's it. I don't know how nasty it's going to be. I'm more inclined to look for a 1-to-1 here on this one. It's been such a strong thing, but then again, because it's been so strong, maybe it's time to bore some people, bore the market with redistribution, downtrend, redistribution, downtrend, whatever. We'll see. I think those levels are reasonable. It's about 20,000 Satoshis here, and then like 14,000 Satoshis here. Okay. We'll keep an eye on that one too, as DERO BTC. And if it turns back around and keeps going up, well, we'll be watching that too. Again, none of this financial advice, but we go here to Origin Trail. I'm watching this one a little bit more closely since it's, well, now we're on a monthly candles. Since this triangle was forming, and now we watched it break out on the weekly. And so here we are. Now, didn't quite make the full target here of this 3,000 Satoshis level up here, which would be equal to this whole move here in a measured fashion. However, we start looking at it like from an Elliott wave perspective and wave styles, we start to see that there's a good chance that we've only just begun the first wave of the next, how do you call it? the next degree of a big wave. So this degree of wave, we might be starting the next one of this degree of wave. However, let's just go into it this way. So the only problem is this wick here. If you want to play with this wick and say anything about that, then we haven't quite yet begun. But I'm not taking this into account. And, we haven't begun here. I'm not taking this into account. If we, in that sense, there was some funny action exchange-wise, price-wise. This is a weekly price chart. So I'm thinking, closing up here is significant, and then it kept going down. So in that case, we can imagine, let's just imagine on a weekly time frame now, because this is significantly higher, and because it follows this trend here, we have probably something like, I think many people would want to pull the 2 here. I'm going to probably pull it over here. And I think whatever, where does the 3 go? We don't know. We can play with that. Oops. However, yeah, we only want this on days and weeks. Months can be as well. Actually, forget about the monthly. Okay. Just because the monthly might not show it this cleanly. So 1, 2, I'm going to pull the 2 over here, because even though it's a higher low than this, this whole move here, it just doesn't signal the next wave. Now we can play it both ways, but 1, 2, 3, 4 there. So in that case, then we have our new move here, and probably, well, if this is the case and we've just made it here, that's possible. The other option is that we still will make it, and probably the 3 is going to be higher. Oops. Because, and we're going to just change this color to, and change it to this, whatever. Because the reason being that I just want to extend this. So if we're playing this that way, yeah, that makes about sense. It's right there. It's a 1-to-1, and then we can imagine an extended fifth, because these are, look, the reason I'm thinking about extended fifths too is because these are technologies that are just coming out, and so if it is going to have some sort of more and more massive adoption, it's going to, at some point, it's going to start slowly building, but it's going to be really cycling up. So that, I imagine, will be the extended fifth wave. That's why I think whatever it's going to look like, but it'll be extended, at least in time. There's a likelihood, or if not, well, who knows? Maybe it's going to be so exuberant that it's just going to really extend in price, very volatile and not time. Whatever, we'll find out. Stick with and we'll watch. So that's the kind of idea right now. I guess this would be something like this, but, or, maybe this, whatever. Okay, I'm not trying to I'm not trying to say exactly how it's going to be. Like, this is definitely super bullish case where we're really making a 5-wave Elliott move, and we've just begun. Okay, that's one option. And that's the basic option I'm taking for now. However, the other option is that this is actually just part of a bigger accumulation process where, the price kind of does its thing, and then it can go higher. Okay. Sorry, it would probably just keep going higher there. But anyway, I don't know how much higher and what's going to do, but basically this could become some sort of accumulation zone. However, based on this accumulation zone right here, it looks like because it came back in here, I get the sense that it can start going higher. And at least start challenging these levels. I don't see why not. But that's another story, because I do believe that the fundamentals are strong enough for this type of of a play, but anyway, if you want to know more, you just go check out Origin Trail. I'm not even trying to shill anything. I'm just actually more curious about the chart. It all started with this triangle here. So, all right, so what are we trying to say here then? If we start pulling it closer, because what I care about now is what I really want to do is let's look at this wave here and decide what's going on. One possibility is this was the end of the 2, the beginning of the 3 of that bigger one. So now we're in a smaller degree move, like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in that case, maybe the 1 is done here, or maybe it's just the 3 of the 1 and we're still fitting to get the 1 higher. So how do you know, right? That's the thing, you don't. That's why retracements and extensions help, and other tools that allow you to pick up levels. So if you look here, we've essentially retraced, you know, nearly 88.6 from the top to the bottom. So that's definitely a common place for reversal, is an 88.6 retracement. Also, if we want to look at extensions, we can go bottom to top and extend here. And 1618 is always a good one. 1-to-1 is also a good one. So you set levels, you get out, whatever, if that's how you play. And you look at retracements for getting back in. So what I'd like to do now is, okay, if you're one of these accumulators down here, how do you play this? Well, maybe you have a longer term vision, so you're going to hold more, but maybe you want to take a bit and go in and out. So let's say you do. So then you come in closer and you say, all right, let's go to a daily. And see, on a daily, you look at this, and this could be part of this move here, next wave. And in that case, maybe you've got something like, this is what I'm getting the sense of, like we've got like 1, 2, and then this whole thing is 3, 4, and probably we'll see where the 5 could be, but I get the sense this is where we're going. And I think I might do a bit more detail on this as we keep playing it out, but that could be what's happening here. And then within here, we're getting something more like, in fact, this 4 here is higher than the 3, or around the 3. Well, if we talk wicks, then it's probably down here. But generally, it looks like basically a running flat, where it actually, the B wave is a strong B wave higher. Anyway, we can go in and look at that. So if that's the case there, then we are ending this move and we will eventually break this trend line and go into our 4th wave. However, if we're not going to break this trend line, that means we're not done and we still actually are waiting for that 3, and maybe that's where the 3 gets all the way up here. Okay, and then who knows about where the 5 is. So I'm going to go into the 4-hour and then we can do some more analysis on this later. Don't want to get too much deep into it, but I want to say, okay, in the 4-hour, you know, you start watching more closely, right? If you're trying to get in and out, you start watching more closely on the 4-hour. On the weekly or the daily, it's not as much. Well, daily and 4-hour are pretty close, but the weekly, much less. So if we start looking here and we say, all right, maybe this is what it was. It was like what I was looking on the daily was this with the 3 here and then the 4 there and then the 5 there. And the reason being is because this price action came back into the 3 wave. Also, it touched on this trend line here, around this trend line here, which is a 0 to 2 trend line, meaning that that's where, like, what I should say is the 0 to 2 trend line, okay, was broken by this price. So at first we thought, maybe this is the end of the 4 right here, okay? But because the price broke through over here, that means that the correction was still happening. So now we can find the 2 to 4 trend line in that sense. Okay, so then we work with the 2 to 4 trend line on the fifth wave to see, are we done the fifth wave move, or is it just begun? Like, is it still happening? And we'll know that once we start breaking this 2 to 4 trend line. When we break the 2 to 4 trend line, you notice, interestingly, it rebounded around that 2 to 4 trend line. It's holding it as some intermediate support. Most likely, if this is the end of the fifth wave, we're going to see something like that, and then it'll eventually break the trend line. But if it doesn't, and it goes up here and it keeps looking good, then there's more likelihood that we're not done, and this is not the end of the fifth. Oops, and this is not the end of the fifth wave. So that's how we'll know. My guess is so far is that it is end of the fifth wave. We're getting our retracement right now. So, like for example, we're only at 38.2 retracement of the move down. So we could even make it up to 2,000 Satoshis again. Or 1937 or wherever, this type of price area before heading lower. That would be this type of price area. And if it's going to be strong, then maybe it's going to just go higher, but I doubt it. Let's say it's like 2000, then it'll come lower. So that's basically the guess right now, educated guess so far. So we're going to see how it goes. You watch the 2 to 4 trend line, and that'll determine when the fifth is broken. Now, here's the other question though. If this is when the fifth started, imagining, or here, it has taken a lot longer. This 2 to 4 trend line hasn't been broken yet. So in that case, we might not be completely done the trend yet. So even though we might be in a correction right now, it might be a correction against the bigger trend. And that's kind of a neo-wave Neely method thinking, in the sense that because the price action is not so violent compared to the violent move up here, it's not equally violent or more. It's less violent on the way down, meaning that it's not breaking the trend. It's correcting against the trend, but it's not creating a new type of trend where the force is now on the opposite direction, in this case down. So that's also something to consider and think about. I'm not going to go much more into it. I think we're done for now. I'm going to come back and talk about this at more length in its own video. We can talk about it, or in combination with other price charts, but that's where we are so far. So I'm looking for a move into the 1900s again before further retracing and breaking this trend line. Otherwise, we're still on the up and up. Okay, that's it for the origin trail price chart. Thanks for bearing with me with your patience. I hope you've enjoyed this. Hope it's been entertaining. Well, probably not as much entertaining as hopefully educational. And at that point, or something to let you think about for your own thought process when you're looking at price charts. Okay, and then that's it for now. All right, friends, thanks. Wishing you love, peace, and happiness. Okay, until the next time, goodbye.